I'm Lee Spencer with RacingBoys.com, and I caught up with Tony Stewart. Big news to...
You were sitting here, and I had to come to you, so you didn't catch up with me. I caught you.
All right, I waited on your sorry ass. How's that?
There we go. That's better.
Big announcement today at Richmond, and it's good to see somebody on the ball and attracting new sponsors into motorsports in general.
Yeah, and it's, a really unique opportunity with Toco. It's, to have a company like this that not only is their demographic NASCAR people, but it's short track people as well. So to be able to broaden this partnership and carry it across not only SHR but TSR and get him on Donnie's car as a co-primary, an associate on my car, or have him on Clint's car for 4 races as a primary, and then an associate sponsor for the rest of the year. I mean, it's huge for us. I mean, it's huge for our companies, but in return, we want to make sure that this is a good program for Toco and, getting the awareness out of what they're about and how easy it is to use them. I mean, that's something that's, I think this is going to be a really good partnership for us.
I like the fact that you called them partners. You didn't call them sponsors. You didn't talk about a livery on a car. You called them partners. And to put them with somebody like Boyer, who's so great with partnerships, with relationships, to put them with somebody like Donnie, who's same thing, great guy, great personality, big return on investment on the dirt side, as well as yourself. I mean, this is kind of like a win-win and probably the direction we need to be looking at for sponsorship in the future.
Well, and not every NASCAR team has a dirt program either, so it doesn't work for everybody. But that is what we feel like it makes it attractive for us, and a side that's different from what everybody else can offer in NASCAR. So, and especially, like I said, for this program, I mean, their demographic is NASCAR and short track fans, and that's what's going to make this really good. I mean, you got the best wing sprint car driver in the world. You got one of the most outspoken and best personalities in all of NASCAR. And you got some old washed-up retired NASCAR driver that still wants to be a wing sprint car driver. So to have the three of us, running and spreading the word of Toco, I mean, that's something that is a big deal.
Can you give a little reflection on where your World of Outlaws team is right now, as far as we saw Donnie won at Las Vegas, but still early in the season? What do you kind of see out of him and that team right now, and how many World of Outlaws races do you want to run as well?
I probably won't run any World Outlaw races. I'm going to run probably about 70% of our All-Star shows, and then we're going to run just kind of in our area, Indiana, Ohio, Wisconsin. We're doing a lot of races in Wisconsin with the IRA series. We really like that group. But we're going to run a lot of stuff around home. We're in the process of getting more Ford 410 motors built. So the testing with the first motor went really well, and now they're getting ready to hook it on the dyno again and see what the post numbers are on the dyno. But if everything goes well in the teardown process and examination, if everything looks good, then it's full steam ahead on getting motors that will soon be in my cars. So that's something I'm pretty excited about. But Donnie's program, I mean, it's obviously a different crew chief with with Scuba turning the wrenches and making the calls, but this it's the normal Donnie Schatz deal. I mean, he really doesn't start making a mark till it starts getting hot out.
Sounds like Tony Stewart. They used to say summer was Tony's when he would warm up.
Yeah, and that's just, seems like when the tracks start getting slicker and they get more technical, it seems like that's when Donnie really, really comes to the top. But, they're running well. They have good nights. It's, it kind of looks the same as past years with Donnie, so I think everybody's happy on that side. My side, I feel like I'm running better, and I've run in a long, long time in a wing sprint car, and part of that is we wanted to run as many races as we could for that reason, to try to get back where we want to be. So we're running well. I mean, I still think I need to get better, but at least we've got speed right now, and that's something that we need.
Where does the All-Star Circuit stand as far as, you put your name on it, you trying to develop it? Where do you see that series going in the future?
Well, we're not trying to be the World of Outlaws. I mean, and we work closely with the World of Outlaws on rules packages. We, in the markets that we go to, making sure we're not overlapping too close to each other. But the All-Stars is more of a blue-collar. These aren't full-time teams that's all they do is just race full-time. I mean, we have a couple full-time teams that's all they do, but the majority of the teams, the owners, the drivers, have jobs and work Monday through Thursday. And they get to take off work to go race on the weekends. So we have to be careful about how much we actually do grow. So it's not, sometimes bigger isn't always better. We try to take the formula that we've got and just try to enhance it and make it better for our teams and drivers and the racetracks that we go to. But we're very conscious of the fact that these are guys. We'd love to expand and travel more and have more 3-day weekends versus 2-day weekends. But these are people that have to travel back home, don't have the vacation days to take off to go run. So we got an aggressive 50 to 55 race schedule each year. I feel like our product and our team, we got a great group of teams that are running. The race last night was our first point race, was awesome, and I was right in the middle of the action, so I got to see the racing side of it, which was fun. So I think we got a really good group of guys this year, and I feel like we've got a product that we can take anywhere in the country and compete with the best.
There was cross promotion between Richmond and the Virginia track, and do we need to see more of that? And if we see more collaboration between grassroots racing, between dirt racing and NASCAR, will it benefit both motorsports entities?
Do I think we have to have it? Not necessarily. I think there's some markets that it doesn't work, but in the markets that it is feasible, we have seen results with it. I think it does work. But there are some areas of the country that we go to that I'm not sure it does make sense necessarily. But it's really cool. Like last night at at Virginia Motor Speedway, I talked to a lot of fans that had never been to a dirt race before. They were in for the NASCAR race, came in a night early, came to watch us run, which, hopefully they get the bug. But it was fun because one of our guys from SHR that had came over to watch was in the stands, and they said after the first set of hot laps were over and they dropped the checker and the cars slowed down, they saw people turning and looking at each other, and their eyes were huge. They'd never seen dirt cars go that fast. And that's what's cool about bringing a new fan base to a dirt race like that. So, and if we can go to these dirt races and it gets the word of NASCAR out again. I mean, there's a lot of people in the short track side that aren't NASCAR fans anymore, and if us being there kind of gets them back interested in NASCAR, I mean, it works great that direction. So, hopefully it goes both ways and helps out both sides.
They're looking at a complete overhaul in the schedule for next year, and I don't know how much, they keep backing down. They said, we're going to do this, that, and the other, and then NASCAR starts backing down. But when I look at something like Las Vegas was a sellout, and they didn't sell out because they were there for NASCAR. They sold out because they were there for World of Outlaws. Once Donnie won his race and they all came up to the press box, you started seeing the fans leaving, even though there was a very good K&N race that followed that. But is there something there that we can build on? Has NASCAR talked to you about it? What potentially, we could do to marry the fan bases a little more?
They don't ask me anything anymore. I mean, you've been here as long as I've been here, and anytime I have an idea, it goes in one ear and out the other. And most of the time, they do the polar opposite of what I suggest. So I don't talk to them about anything. It's got to be their idea or it's not going to happen anyway most of the time. But they got to do what they think's right. I mean, and there's reasons they make the decisions they make. But it's, I think if you could get some of their higher-up people, it's just like that show Undercover Boss. You get some of their executives to dirt races and get them down in there and let them hear what people say about NASCAR, and I think it would really open their eyes of what direction they need to go. But I honestly think I think sometimes the direction they think they need to go and to attract fans is polar opposite of where they're going and where they need to go. But who am I? Apparently I'm not that smart. They don't ever want to listen to me, and my ideas aren't right. So I don't even offer ideas anymore. I'm tired of wasting my breath.
Well, we did see a bunch of officials show up at Chili Bowl, so maybe they're
a blast. They drank a lot of beer and had fun, which, that was so cool for me to see those guys show up at Chili Bowl, and I knew they were all coming. And we even made sure that one of our people was making sure they were having a good time and had everything they needed to where it was easy for them to get where they needed to go all the time. But it was fun to actually see NASCAR officials not be NASCAR officials and watch them actually enjoy racing again. And just have fun. I mean, I think that's something they needed. And I do see, I think that's a perfect example of where they're saying, hey, we're not too proud to sit there and say, we need to come look at stuff and see why this is working. They are smart enough to take a step back once in a while and kind of look at it from a different set of eyes and see what's going on.
Stewart Haas Racing this season, still looking for their first win. We're at race 9. Are you concerned at all? I mean, there's been a huge dominance at JGR. You understand that program. You were in it. You know what the bells and whistles are over there. Team Penske, so they're doing exceptionally well. So it's not a Ford issue. Do you have a feel about what might be missing on the SHR cars?
Well, I think the problem is we're off a little bit, and every department has a different idea on what it's going to take to get us where we want to be, and until you start trying things and checking boxes off, I think it's we're not going to get there till we start eliminating some of those variables. But that's the great thing that I like about it is everybody's pretty passionate about trying to find the solution. So it wouldn't be any fun if it was easy and it was working right all the time. But obviously we strive for that. But I think this is what really shows what your organization's about is when you get, and even where we're at right now isn't terrible. I mean, there's 80% of the teams that would love to be in the position we're in right now with our on-track performance, but we expect more out of ourselves and out of our organization. And I think moments like this are what define your race team and your organization when you see how you handle this and how you're able to come out of it.
I've seen a turnaround in Daniel Suarez. He says he's more comfortable at Stewart Haas Racing. It just seems like you've custom built a program for him to. I don't expect him to go and win 10 races this year, but I do see him finally getting to a point where he's making progress in his Cup program, and wasn't something we saw so much at JGR. What do you see in Daniel Suarez?
I like him. I mean, and I see the confidence in him. It reminds me so much of Eric at this point last year. But Daniel's a happy, smiling guy all the time. Eric's a little more calm and reserved, but Daniel just is happy-go-lucky and just wants to race, and that's what we like about him. We love his passion. He's very detail-oriented, just like Eric is, and Clint and Kevin. So I mean, I think he fits our program well. We got to teach him how to finish a fight. He's got the basics down. We got to teach him how to finish it off, but I know somebody that could probably help him with that. If not, for sure, Kevin Harvick knows people that can teach him how to finish that deal. But no, I like him. I really think he's got a lot of talent, and I think it's this whole thing's about being a part of a family, and I think he feels a little more at home with us than where he was at.
Someone who's not in the family anymore, but is surprising a lot of people is Kurt Busch. The fact that, you were there for him during some of the tough times last year, but does it surprise you at all that he's gone to Ganassi and kind of turned that one team around as much as he has?
Not at all. And the fun part is the races I've been to, at the end of it, I walk up before he even gets out of the car. I'm like, sure you want to retire yet? This isn't a performance of a guy that's getting ready to retire. So, he just laughs at me, and he doesn't even have to see me, and he knows who's telling him that when I'm coming up. So I'm hoping he changes his mind. I think he's still got a lot to offer and a lot to contribute to this sport. I hate to see him retire. I still think he's on top of his game, as good as anybody out there, and definitely he's taken that one car and turned it into a team that can go out and contend for wins.
Now, I heard the debate is what is the number of races you're going to run this year? When they said 90, you were saying upwards of that, or what's your goal, 100? Do you want to is 2019 going to be that year where you finally hit 100 races?
Well, we at least have 99 on the schedule. I mean, we've had 2 rainouts already. We've got a couple races because of appearances that we're having to take off. But, and who knows, we might be able to add some races as the year goes on. We'll find one-off races that we can go to. But the goal was the 99 that we set, and then I'm like, I'll find a race somewhere to go to make it 100. So, but if we can get over 90 races ran this year, that would be a great year for me. I mean, obviously weather's going to get us at some point on some of these races, but that's, if we can get 90 shows in, that'd be an awesome year.
One last question, because it is kind of your home track, but did you ever think you would see something like the BC 39, what they were able to do on the grounds of the Brickyard with midgets? I mean, to me, it was like the marrying everything together, just the perfect situation, perfect race, and to have so many people working to make it happen. Just your thoughts on that.
I was at Eldora that weekend, but we were watching what was going on. We had a computer on for the entire event, watching their race go off, and it made me smile. I mean, I hope they keep that track there. I hope it keeps working. It's just perfect. I mean, it shows. I think it's a really good example of showing how those guys that end up on that big track that is surrounding that little dirt track, it shows those people of how the A.J. Foyts, the Johnny Rutherfords, the Mario Andretti's, how all those guys got to that level. That's how it started. They were in cars like that. So, I hope that continues. I know the inner talkings of it, and it was not a popular idea, but hopefully the event went over well, and that they see the value in it.
Could that be race 100?
Possibly. You never know. Actually, I'm not sure. I think we're already racing that weekend, but we got to find some midweek shows that's how we're gonna get to 100 is find something during the week that we don't have on the calendar so far.
Really appreciate your time today.
Well, for you, anytime, and I see you brought your adult supervision over here, your better half, so I'm glad to see both of you guys, and I'm excited to see you at the dirt races with us.